Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. I just wanted to make this quick video to show a little Max for Live device that I created for my own shows that help me with a limitation that Ableton has when recording into the arrangement view. Let me show you first what the issue is. This is my main kind of performance template, and in my samples I have just a drum rack, an instrument rack here that has my various samples. And so I was just triggering those with a MIDI fighter. And you say I have monitor set to in, and the reason is because then I can be on any other track working on it, so I can still use my MIDI fighter on that track even if I'm not active on that track, which is great. That's what I want. But the problem is in arrangement view, because when I'm creating all this stuff live, I'm also recording into the arrangement view just so I can have my show, right? And so if I go into arrangement view, and let me show you what happens if I click over here. Here's my sample track right here. So I'm going to be recording into arrangement view, so it's running here. And you see how my sample track doesn't have anything. If I start playing, it doesn't record, right? The only way it'll record is if I have that actively recording, which I could do, but the problem is as soon as I move away to a different track, if I go over here to record, this turns off here. I don't have the push hooked up right now, so it's not set to like auto, record enable, but that's how it normally is. So if I select a track, it'll record enable this track, so I can be kind of previewing it, right, while it's in auto monitor. Long story short, while this is not in auto monitor and I don't have it active, it's not going to record over here into the arrangement view. So the problem is then I'll be doing my show, I'll be triggering samples, the audience will be hearing it, but it won't get recorded to be able to, save the set later and upload it. So I made this little Max for Live device here, and I'm going to show you what it does. Let me turn it on. So basically what I'm doing here is, so I'm taking my MIDI input. So I made a chain, right? I grouped these. So I have my vocal samples on one side and then the MIDI recorder on the other side. The reason is then my MIDI is going into both. See, it goes into both there. So it goes into the MIDI recorder. This is a little toggle showing that I have a MIDI input happening. And I'm hitting the live API. And by doing that, by clicking on this thing, it basically establishes the path of the live API in order to be able to get where I need to go within the API. So now if I hit something, you'll see the MIDI is also going into this section here. And now if I have this routed, it's going to record. Basically what this is going to be doing is I will start recording into a separate MIDI file. So these notes that I'm playing right now are actually being recorded into a MIDI file. If I undo this, if I undo that, it's writing to that file now. And then as soon as, okay, let me back up here. Let me actually open up the thing so you can kind of see. Let me get out of presentation. So this finds the path for the property record mode, which is up here. So what this is doing is it says when I hit record, basically to make the arrangement view, to record into arrangement view, it's going to observe, it's going to look and see anytime I hit that button. So this shoots a number 1 out of here, and it shoots a number 1 out of here. So it adds the 1 plus 1, which equals 2, shoots 2 out of here. So this is saying that when that equals 2. So what that means is the sequence won't start recording if I just push the record button. It'll only start recording once I push the record button and the play button, because that'll help me so I can line up the MIDI. I'll show you that here in a minute. So let me get back onto here. So once the record button and once the play button gets pushed, number 2 goes to here, and so it says, okay, we're good to go. And so it shoots a bang to start recording. Then, as soon as I hit stop, it's going to do that thing again, and it's going to select number 1, and it's going to shoot a bang to say write to this MIDI file, which is kind of like basically saying save. So then it pops up a save dialog for me to save that as a separate MIDI file that I can then drop into Arrangement View. So I kind of was talking for a while here because I wanted to leave this open for anybody that wants to copy this patch. So you can pause the video if you want to copy the patch. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Oh, one thing I should say is you actually need to set this at the beginning of every session, because there are other ways to do it, but for now this is just kind of a kludged together thing to make sure it works. So you'll see that's why that's there. So when I first start, in order to make this work, I just have to hit that button, and so that is like sort of set all the paths, right? So what I do is I make sure I'm at 1-1, make sure I'm at 1-1, I hit the record button, I hit the play. So we are now recording into here. So I'm going to go ahead and play. No, I think I didn't.
Did you get the intro? Did you just imagine? Did you just imagine the must?
Yep, so there we go. So it opens up and it lets me save this MIDI file. So even if I'm not on that, it'll still work. Hit record, hit play.
Did you get on this? Did you on? Do not.
You see, it's not recording here.
Did you? Do not. Did you?
Okay, so my set's done. Hit stop. Pops up. So let me just show you that. Save it to the desktop. So this has been saved now. So now later tonight, when I'm done and I want to go back and look over the set, I can just go to my Finder, bring in my MIDI, oh yeah, I should say one weird thing I've actually, this reminds me, so a weird thing that I found with, for some reason, saving the MIDI files in Max to Live, it makes it really slow to load them directly into Arrangement View. If I load them into Session View first, there's the MIDI notes that I had recorded. Just load them into Session View and then drag them in. And then it's fast. Because for some reason, putting them straight into Arrangement View, I don't know why. I don't know if it's a Max for Live thing, but it makes it super lag down. So there you go. So this was a way. Those got recorded now. If I put this on auto.
Did you get?
So that was a really long video, but hopefully that helps somebody out. It was kind of a tricky thing to figure out how to be able to do that, and I thought there wasn't anyway. And the great thing is this will also record from other tracks. I'm also using a lemur and some other things that I wanted to record some of the actions. So as long as you're sending to the correct thing, and so normally I'm actually not going directly, I'm going from a network of a couple of different things. And so this will record things from all sorts of different tracks. into that one MIDI file if you want, or you can even drop the